Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach, and I'm going to work on the thing that I talked about in the last episode with my WebAssembly.Generators NuGet package. So the one thing that I knew when you use this WebAssembly package is when you say compile from binary, passing in your class that defines all the export functions, and you say new import dictionary, by passing that into the thing that's given to you from the from binary call, that is actually iDisposable, and you should put that into a disposable in a using statement or a using block. Okay. And the reason why is because if you are doing any memory allocations, WebAssembly needs, from what I understand from Ryan, is that you need to then say, hey, free up any memory allocations that have been potentially done. For the stuff I'm doing, I know there isn't any, I think, but it could. So that's the thing here, this instance that you want to put in a using statement. But what I want to return are the exports, because that is the thing that implements the abstract class that you've given. Okay. So yeah, I thought about this and I'm like, well, I still want to return that, but I want it to be that generated class. I want it to implement iDisposable. Okay. So the idea is that instead of doing what I'm doing right now, which if I, okay, I was doing the right keystroke and it wasn't doing anything. I'm still recording. Okay, good. I don't know. It's like, was that at the focus? And then I was changing something in obs and that was bad. So instead of generating this create method here, what I'm going to do is something like this. Okay. And then I'll have this private field on the abstract class that in dispose, if it's been set, I'll call dispose on that. And the reason I'm doing this is because somebody may want to take this generated class and manually do all the things that I'm doing in create for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't understand why you'd want to do that, but I want to be a little bit defensive and say, well, if you're just trying to use this as purely a way to call the exported functions, then there's the class. You go off and do whatever you want to do with the things in WebAssembly that I'm already doing for you here. Okay. And then you may never call dispose, or if you do, this may never have been set. So then I want to make sure that I'm defensive and that if you have set it, that I will call dispose only in that case. Okay. All right. So, oh no. Oh no. I'm getting the encoding overload, which is never a good thing. For some reason, when I had my coffee up here, I noticed when I was drinking, and that's the thing too. This is an experiment. That's why I only want to do a couple of videos like this and then edit them in Camtasia right away, because I don't know if having this obs over here is going to cause some lag for whatever reason. It's saying it's the typical 30 frames per second that I usually get. So, okay, great. Yay. Wonderful. It's just kind of weird though, that I noticed it froze for a second. So, yeah, caveat emptor, I might have the last video and this video being a little rough, but that's what you learn from when you're using new equipment, what works and what doesn't. Anyway, so that's why I have things in this feature defined the way I do. And so now I just need to do this. Okay. So, and we need to do it in both cases, in that if you have imports or if you don't. Why is that not working? Hold on, let me shut it down and start it up again. Yeah, I'm getting encoding overloads. That's not good. I think it's when yeah, hold on. we're going to pull this back over here because I don't know if, it's just because when I'm actually loading, I've never had this. Maybe that's always been happening and I don't see it because I'm working on stuff and then I just don't see these encoding overloads from OBS. So, all right. Anyway, does it work now? Why doesn't it? There. Okay. I was like, what? That keystroke has always worked. Why would it not work now? Okay. Export builder. There we go. Okay. So I did do some work on this already, and then I'm doing the public abstract class, iDisposable, captured instance. I put that method there. Coding overload again. Oh God. So for all I know that I may have to put a caveat in front of the episode saying the audio sucked or something like that. I don't know. Now just kind of watching out of the corner of my eye. I'm getting encoding overload and getting encoding overload. If I probably built this, if I hit F6 and I run this, what's going to happen? Well, now it's not. So why am I not getting an encoding overload? I don't know. Who knows? Build succeeded. Hey, ship it. Okay. It's early and I need coffee. More coffee. You've seen me drink coffee. I need more coffee. Okay. What I didn't get to is I have to do in both cases, and that if there's no imports, I just would simply do this. If there are imports, then I actually have to do the import dictionary. But I have to change both of these because now they need to be like this. Okay. Excuse me. So let's do this one because that's simpler. Okay. So we're no longer going to do that. We're going to do writer dot. Come on. Oh, fine. So we need to do that. Okay. And then we are going to push out. But then we need to push back in and do that. Okay, so that gets that there now. And now we need to write the instance. So we want to say var instance is equal to compile from binary, new import dictionary. Okay, so we want to go that far. Okay. And then these next ones can just be writer.writeLine, or we say instance.exports, like that. Writer.writeLine. And now we do that. And that, whoops, now I say writer.writeLine, and we'll return the exports. Okay. So let's review this real quick. I get the instance. That looks good. I then get the exports, because that's what I want to return. And then I take the captured instance, because that's the name of the variable here. And I should be able to see it, right? Well, let's check that out real quick here. Let's say public abstract class ABC, and I have a private string foo, and I have a public static ABC create. Okay, so I say var x is equal to new ABC x dot. Oh yeah, okay, fine. Fine. Protected. See. Now that should work. Right? Oh, what? Okay, fine. We don't have to make it abstract. X dot foo is equal to a return x. And what are you complaining about? Oh, fine. Make it simplified. I don't want to do that down here, though, because Well, I mean, I could do, well, no, I can't, because that's actually coming from there. So that doesn't work down there. But the point is, yes, even in the public, yeah, I was like, yes, that should work. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. And that's a nice thing about source generators and doing this all in C# code. Mark Gravel, he wrote this article recently on source generators and how basically, I wouldn't call it a call to arms, but this notion that if you're writing C# code and you're doing a lot of reflection and you're in .NET 5, you should really consider doing that as source generators, because there are a lot of benefits to doing that. And I pretty much agreed with everything he wrote. I think people should be thinking a lot about source generators, and not just in removing reflection. And it's not to say reflection is bad. It's just there are a lot of benefits. And yeah, one of the benefits too is trying to do this in IL would be very painful. Doing it in C#, I can just check something by literally writing C# and going, yep, that's going to work. Okay. So it's a lot simpler to do this stuff. Although I say that, now I'm going to break everything because I'm going to do it wrong. Okay, so now in this case, we need to do that. Okay, and then we also need I think at some point, right. I think at some point we're going to have to do that. Okay, so we do this. We say var instance is equal to compile from binary, not the exports. So all what I just did there, that's still all good. Okay. And now what I can say is, I don't think I need that there anymore. I think I can do this and that. Okay, so my indents and outdents are good. I say compile from that. I get the instance. The instance I can get the exports from. The exports I can say captured instance and return exports. Okay, I think that's all good. I think that's actually what I wanted. So if I build this, it should be good. And yes, unit tests are here. I'm not as thorough as I should be. And that's one of the things I need to shore up before I have a 1.0 version, is to actually get some tests that test all the testy things. But I can't do that right now. Well, I could, but I'm more interested in actually making this work. So we just put this in here. And here's the fun part, is I have to shut down and start up again, because the only way I can really reliably test this is to do it in this NuGet host. Okay. I have been testing everything with integration packages, integration tests, by just referencing my generator project. But up until now, everything has just been that project. It hasn't actually referenced NuGet packages that need to be distributed. And for some reason, that's been so problematic to get consistently working. So the only way I've been able to kind of test this integration-wise is to do that here. Okay. So what I might end up doing is changing the integration test to actually reference the NuGet package locally that I have here and run the test that way. Okay. But that's not the way I have it right now. So I've got to shut this down, and I got to go through some manual gyrations where I need to say, is that the source I want? Yes. So we're going to come into here, and we're going to, no, not the shared. This is the problem about doing it manually. Script it out, JSON. Yes, I know. And then I think that's it, because that's not there. And then I need to go here, and I need to go to my NuGet and packages and WebAssembly, that one, and nuke it. Okay. Now, if I do 2019 again and bring this up, I should get some encoding overloads. Yay, encoding overloads. Oh, wonderful. Because you're thinking too hard. Now, this is the problem with this, and that it, the first time I build it, it doesn't work. Even though I have the NuGet project saying it depends on the other one to finish building. But for some reason it doesn't see that doesn't work. I don't know. I'm kind of babbling. But let's build it once, and we won't get it to, it'll fail because it can't find the NuGet package. Because reasons. Right? Come on. You're going to fail one time. And you're going to fail because you're going to say, yeah, you can't find it. But now let's build it again. And now we'll see if there's any errors with the generated C# code that I just did. And I will assume there will be, because there always is. The annotation for nullable reference type should only be used code within a nullable annotations context. Auto-generated code requires an explicit... No, oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that. But the good thing is that it's detecting the new stuff. And this is a nice thing they've added recently in Visual Studio, which is, sorry, I got to go to analyzers here, is that it will show you the generated code, which it wasn't doing before. So let's see if this all makes sense. If I say that, and then I say exports, and then captured instance there, and I got to this, yeah, that looks absolutely correct. And now I want to look at the callback one. And yeah, that's all golden. That's good. So I just need to do the nullable enable. That's my fault. Okay. We'll do that and shut down, start up again, blah, 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 blah. Export builder. Okay. So we need to say, I think we'll do it here. Indent, writer, that red line, nullable enable. Now, well, see, Jason, do you have to do this in IL? No, you don't. You just say nullable enable. And is that all you need? Yeah, you don't need the semicolon at the end. Perfect. So we're going to do another right line here, and we're done. That's all we needed. But we got to shut down and start it up again and delete all the files. Okay, so just to be sure, that's usings, that's nullable. And then we get into the namespace if it's there. So that should all be good. Okay, so shut her down. I thought I said save. Yeah. Okay. That was weird. Shut her down. Come back. Okay, WebAssembly generators. Yes, delete that. Now come back to source, which I think is here, and then we say bin obj delete. Yes, good. Go. Things, stuff. 2019, encoding problems, overload, bad video, things are frozen. I don't know. I have no idea what this is going to look like. I'm kind of, because sometimes I'm seeing the thing though that's interesting is that even when it says encoding overload, like the frame rate drops a little bit, just like a tiny little bit. But it's still, I mean, yeah, like I'm a little janky, my video is, but the frame rate that it's reporting down the lower right seems to be fine. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see here. Let's see what we can see. All right. The build first shouldn't work because it's not going to find the package, but then we build again, and let's see what happens this time. And we succeeded. That's good. So if we come back over here, we should now see in dependencies, analyzers, generators. We have nullable enable, so it no longer barks at us because of that. And if we come to our code here, here's the thing. We can get rid of this stupid piece of code because I didn't need that. But the whole point of this is to say using. And that should work now because we can take that out. We can now say using here as well. This is the startup. We should be able to run this and everything should work as expected. Maybe, possibly. Oh, what the heck? What the heck? Stack Overflow. How did that happen? What the? Oh. No. Maybe. Possibly. A generator class callback just dispose. Somehow it's interesting. Interesting. The instance is that. That's where we get the exports from. Yeah, you don't know what that is. Captured instance is set to the instance, and then we return the exports. And so then we do a dispose here. We do a captured instance dispose, but that's causing a Stack Overflow exception. Well, ain't that? I'm gonna have to text Ryan. So hold on. Let me capture this. If I'm reading this right, I think what it's, because there's been some improvements with Stack Overflow exceptions in terms of how you can find them out. I think what this is showing here is it calls. Well, wait a minute. That's interesting. Let me do this. I hate those code lens errors because they're not me. So I've got that. Let me just see. Was it with just one or both? Yeah, that worked fine. Okay. So that worked fine. But the callback ones seem to be problematic. It's the same thing. But for some reason, when I did the other one, it went nutso. And that's a technical term, by the way. That's a very technical term. So let's do this. Let's comment that out. And let's run this and see if that's where the problem is. Oh, that's cute. Get an encoding overload on that obs. That's beautiful. That's a great stack trace that I will love forever and ever and ever. So we're going to copy that too. We're going to put that in here. Okay, and then I think this is just saying that, well, I can't even see what the thing was at the beginning, but it's obviously hitting some kind of loop. Let's turn that off. So we get into our main method. We call dispose. That's calling dispose on the instance because that's what we're calling. But then the dispose Boolean calls, and somehow it gets back to us to say call dispose on that, which then we're calling dispose on it, which then it calls dispose on that. So somewhere in the dispose logic of the instance, it's keeping track of, crap, this is going to shoot this whole idea down, because it's apparently keeping track of the instances that are made. And if they implement iDisposable, it's calling it on them. But only when you have imports. Ain't that cute? I'm going to have to bother Ryan again. I hate doing that because I don't know who he is. I've never met him in person. And he's been very helpful with any questions that I have. But, some of this stuff is just kind of like, I have no idea what's going on. But that's what, from this stack trace, that's what it seems to be doing is, but only with imports. Like the one that didn't have an import, it worked just fine. Why is it printing out a 7 there? Oh, never mind. This is from the original one where I had both of them going. Sorry, I confused myself. Okay. Repeat 8,755 times. So yeah, that's my guess, but it only happens when you're doing imports. I don't want to start getting into any logic of, well, what I could do, you know what, I'm going a little bit over, but that's okay. What I could do is this. I could say, and I was trying to avoid doing the right thing, and that was not the right thing to do, which is to say this. Well, let's see, indent, writer, right line. Let's just say private bool disposed. Okay. And what we will say here is this dot. Oh crap, we can't do that. We have to do it in a. I have no idea what that just sounded like. Okay, so we need to do indent, writer, right line, the exhibit that, then writer, indent plus plus, and then actually wrote code correctly, indent writer, indent minus minus minus, and then indent writer, right line, where we close it off. Okay, but within here, what we want to say is indent writer, right line. If this dot, if not this dot disposed, which means we haven't disposed yet, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to say indent writer, right line, this dot disposed. I'm trying to do IntelliSense on it. It's true. Okay. But we're going to do indent writer, right line. Oh, crap. What was the magic code that I had here? So we only do it once. But I just realized we have to do this before that. Because otherwise we would never set it to true and we'd be still spinning forever into La La Land, which would not be good. Okay, let's go through this again. So we have that. Oh no, this is for, we have 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, we have enough now. So we have a dispose flag. Dispose says if we haven't been disposed, then we're going to say we're disposed. We're going to call that on that. If it calls back into us, then we won't do it again. I think I've done it right. One more time with feeling. Okay. I'm going to come into here, delete these. Come into here. No, not that. That. WebAssembly, generator, that. And then that. Okay, so build once. Should fail. We need macros in C# now. we need a way to, when we're generating code, to have IntelliSense, like highlighting stuff around what we're generating. And did I screw it up badly? No, I didn't. Well, it thinks I didn't. So let's see what it generated. If it's not disposed, then dispose it. Same thing here. Okay, so here's the big test. We knew it failed with this, so let's see if this works now or not. This feels a little hackish, even if it does work. But it works. But it works. What's that meme from the Pirates of the Caribbean where the guy says, you know, your code is a pile of crap and it has no tests. And then they show Jack Sparrow going, but it works. Yeah. Hey, it works. It's all good. All right. So with some editing, I think this video will come in on time, and that's great because I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying for other videos, which I will eventually get to the fun project, the console app 2 that will turn into a real name and hopefully be something fun. So this eventually, by the time this video gets out there, this package should hopefully be at least a 0.10 and maybe more, and doing some other things on it. But yeah, this has been fun. This has been a lot of fun to, again, taking something where I can generate code so that you can basically have a WASM file and it does everything for you, so you can get a one-liner here. And then you can call methods on it. How beautiful is that? God, I love source generators. Such a fun feature. All right. That's all I'm going to be covering in this episode. Thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.